One of the key factors to getting really good shots is to be ready to go out and get them. Simple. G'day. Of course it helps to be semi-retired like me. I've got the time. I don't have to get up again at 5 a.m. in the morning after being out all night trying to take photos. The other day I went to Melbourne with the Fujifilm X Australia Facebook group. Got a bunch of great shots out there in Melbourne and came home, had tea, thought great, I can put my feet up, watch a bit of the tube. And then I get this notice on Facebook from my Photo Society member, and he said, oh, I'm going to be on top of a certain hill at 10 p.m. to catch the Aurora. Anybody coming? So that was the end of my relaxing night. Got my gear together, went out there and met him at the top of the hill. The reason I had to go out and do that is because it's incredibly rare for an Aurora to be in my part of the world. Okay, I'm in southern Victoria and you might think, oh yeah, well, you know, there's auroras, no worries. But they're not very strong. I have to drive for about 2 hours to get to a good spot to see an average sort of Aurora, if they ever happen. And this was going to be a pretty strong one, so I was able to be local. The other exciting thing was, I'm over 60, I've never seen an Aurora in my life. So it was an opportunity of a lifetime, literally, to get out there and see if I could take some shots. So being a newbie to Aurora shooting, it was a bit of a learning experience. So the photos I got were good, average, not good, great, or great, amazing. But I learnt so much that if it does happen again, I'll be ready to up my game a bit. However, I'm quite happy with what I got, because if I hadn't gone out, wouldn't have got anything at all. And that's the key I was talking about. Be ready to get out there with your camera. Okay, so first, I'll go over what gear I used. Now, a couple of videos ago, I did a review of this Freewell Travel Tripod. Very light, very compact, comes up to a decent height all the same. And I got one or two comments, mostly positive, but yeah, one or two that said, oh, I wouldn't use one of those, any sort of light travel tripods, because they're rickety, they're just not strong enough. Well, I bought that in view of the gear I would be using it on. And yeah, I use a lot of Fuji X cameras, which are fairly light, but I also use this, the GFX50R medium format. It holds this medium format camera fine. Had no issues with it at all. The head wasn't creeping, the legs weren't collapsing. It held it up fine, perfectly steady, perfectly stable. It does the job with this heavier medium format camera. So good on you, Freewell. So I grabbed my 50R and my only GF lens that I've got, which is the 35 to 70 zoom. And yeah, 35mm on a medium format here is approximately 24mm or something like that. So that was as wide as I could go. Would have been nice if I'd gone to 18 or 16 or 14 or even 12, but I don't have those sort of lenses. Got some really good results. Now the weird thing about Auroras is you can't see them. Like I grew up with seeing on telly lots of pictures of the northern lights and the way they shimmer and everything, and they look absolutely stunning, and I thought that's what you saw. But unless it's incredibly strong, you don't even see it with your eyes. You have to use a camera or a phone camera. Then you can get all the colours. So shooting the Aurora the other night, I'm looking southeast and can't see anything happening in the sky at all. Start taking photos, time exposures, and again it was all experimental to start with. So I started off doing like 40-second shots with wide open aperture and ISO about 1600 or something, just to see what I could get. And that's when I noticed that the camera was picking up the colours that I could not see. So it was a bit difficult, because you're trying to frame up composition on something you can't see. So you take a shot, you see where the action is happening, where the colour is, and then you have to adjust your camera and composition to suit, and just take another shot and another, and then dial in your exposures as you go. Luckily when I got there, the Aurora wasn't that strong. The camera could pick it up, but it wasn't like stupendous. So that gave me time to dial in the composition and the shutter speeds and all that sort of thing, so that when it did increase, I was in the camera was aiming in the right direction, basically. So these shots started off with me just experimenting with all my shutter speeds and exposure triangle, just to see I got the right amount of light, and then adjusting the composition. And then it started to pick up. After being out there for about an hour, the colours got stronger. There was more effect of the aurora happening. So as the night went on, I was getting better and better shots of an aurora that was improving. And then about midnight, after being out there for about 2 hours, it started to die down again. By then I'd gotten enough shots. So in the end I was happy enough to get the shots I did. The aurora was looking very good. I was able to dial in the exposures properly, and everything was fine. What I would do next time, if there is a next time, get a better location, because although you had a really good view of the aurora, there was no great detail or interest in the foreground or anything. So, got a friend coming to visit. Hey, Frankie. So in thinking about a better composition locally, the next night I went down to Lilydale Lake, because I thought, wouldn't it be great to get a nice aurora shot by the lake, the reflection in the lake, you got that rock in the lake there as foreground interest, and it would have been stunning. So I went down there, spent a couple of hours. The aurora was not happening, but at least I was able to scout out a spot for next time if it ever happens. Here's a photo of the composition with no aurora, and then a really quick, dirty, nasty Photoshop job of what it might have looked like if it had happened. So there you go. If you know something is going to happen, get out there with your camera, because if you don't, you won't get a thing. Now the aurora seemed to be happening all over the world. I've seen photos from all sorts of different countries with the aurora. How did you go? Did you get out there and see them? Let us know in the comments below how you fared shooting the aurora. Okay? Whatever camera you got, pick it up, take it for a walk, and have some fun. Bye.